Alright, let's go ahead and unbox these controllers and see what they look like inside. As you guys know, the design looks really nice. If you guys look at that, that looks really sexy. I would say that controller does look nice. As you guys may notice, kind of wish they had the outside in English, but it doesn't matter. It says it brings a USB cable, a receiver. Okay, so usually when they bring receivers, it's actually a good thing, because if you noticed, a lot of controllers have those, what's it called, Bluetooth. And honestly, the Bluetooth sometimes on a lot of controllers isn't really that good. The good thing, they bring a high quality manual here, the e-user manual. So one thing that I like about this is that basically you can download a software and you can program a lot of stuff into the controller via the computer. So, you know, you don't have to figure out what you got to program or anything like that. You can just program it on PC, which is something that's really useful, because sometimes it's kind of a pain to program controllers manually on the controller. It probably does have the settings to program the controller manually. However, you can also do it on PC. We will be checking out their software where we can test it out as well. And then you got your standard manual as well. It's in English as well, and it's in a different language as well. Like 3 different languages. Alright, so that's pretty cool as well. It tells you what it brings, the receiver, the charger port, Type-C. So, you know, every new controller has to have these Type-C. So it seems that you can actually connect it via Bluetooth as well, or you could use a receiver as well. I think that would make sense. I think the receiver would be your better option if you're playing with the PC, or you can connect it wired as well. It has Android TV, so that's pretty cool. So if you have emulators on your computer, on your TV, or an app that you want to go ahead and play cloud gaming, you can as well. And it also has compatibility with the Nintendo Switch, Android, iPhone, even iPhone, so that's pretty cool. Sometimes some of these controllers do not bring any compatibility with the iPhone for some reason. So that is pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and see the inside of the controller. As you guys can see, it comes really well protected in this box. Even brought the stuff to the joystick. So this is one of their kind of like the celestial color, but as you guys can see, it's pretty nice as well. I like the way it looks, and it definitely feels really good in the hand. I actually like the way it feels in the hand. It's not slippery or anything by any means. If you know, there's some glossy controllers that are slippery. This one's more like a matte finish, but with the design in the back. So it feels really good. Honestly, it feels really good as well. As I mentioned before, you have your USB receiver as well, that it comes in there. So don't make sure to lose that if you throw away the box. And then you have your USB-C cable. You know, this is pretty standard in a lot of controllers nowadays. So yeah, USB-C is the way to go. But I do like the fact that they bring USB-C. As you guys may notice, the buttons feel really good. I like the D-pad as well. The joysticks feel really good. As you guys can see, it's really mechanical as well, because on the inside you can actually see the mechanical sticks as well. So basically, these are not going to give you a drift because they're made mechanically. And I also like the fact that they actually added like a clear, so you can see the inside of it as well, the mechanicals. So it's pretty cool. It feels really well. And you have your turbo, your shift, your start, and your back, and then your X and Y. The buttons feel kind of weird. I don't know. These feel kind of stiff, but I will probably get used to it. The buttons in the back feel good. The triggers feel good. You got your standard back buttons as well, and you can even put your receiver in here. So if you want to put it away and you don't want to take any space, you can put it in the back. Well, that's pretty awesome as well. I like when controllers do that, because sometimes you don't want to use it, you know. We're gonna test it out on the PC. As you guys may know, there's also the white color there, which I'm probably gonna open another day, but the white color is probably a better color if you like the white color a lot. But yeah. Oh yeah, and we wanted to do a comparison with the Xbox controller, and it feels about the same, to be honest. I think it's a little smaller, which is good for the hands as well, but overall it's the same layout, but it does feel good as well. So yeah, we're going to test that out on the PC, but we're also going to test out the software before we actually begin using the controller. Alright, so we switched over to PC, and I have to say that it does bring a turbo button here, And basically this will allow us to use certain weapons, kind of like the BR, by just holding it down. Fortunately, Halo doesn't even have anybody playing Slayer anymore, so I can't find any Slayer matches, so I'm going to have to do Fiesta Slayer, where it switches between different weapons, but that's good because some of these weapons do require it on the controller. So one of the things that I'm mainly looking forward to newer controllers is that I want to see precision and aim more on these controllers, because I think that is one of the more important things rather than having turbo mode or anything. It's better to have like a precision aim or something on the controllers, and that the buttons hit fast enough that you don't have to worry about clicking, which is something that I am looking for in this controller. But so far it does feel well. It does feel really good for the most part. And I forgot that the melee is this one, and I haven't matted up any of the buttons, but it does seem to work really fine. So for instance, for weapons like this, you could definitely definitely use it to your advantage when you're using turbo. However, I messed up there. For weapons like the rocket, I mean, you can use it, but it doesn't really make you advantage or anything. It gives you that much advantage. There we go. We got like 3 kills out of there, but it was pretty accurate for the most part. It did allow me to reload pretty quick. However, I don't like this weapon. This Mangler is a good weapon. I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure, but this one should shine on this controller, and it did, as you guys can see there. However, I'm gonna get owned. I should have mapped out some grenades in the back, but you can do that as well. It does allow you to map certain buttons. Alright. So everything seems like it's running pretty well. The precision and everything on the controller is fine. As you guys can see right there, I got that guy. I know the swords doesn't really take much skill, and he got me too. I wish I get the BR. That's what I really wanted to try, the BR with this controller. But overall, it does feel good for the most part. Except some people he had a shotgun. Yeah, he had a shotgun. That's definitely gonna take me out. I don't know why Halo doesn't have like Slayer, like normal Slayer. I mean, I was only able to find a match in Fiesta, and that was it. That was actually pretty good aim as well. The thing is, I didn't know he had a sword in it. Yeah, it's been a while since I played Halo. So for like this weapon, this is where turbo comes in hand a lot, to your advantage actually. And unfortunately, my camera was struggling, so I had to start recording late, which I didn't want to do. I know. Oh my god. Ooh! Ooh, the Mangler. I actually like the response on the controller's trigger, because right there when you saw he got me, I was able to melee him and shoot him once as well. So overall, I'm liking the experience of the controller. I'm gonna say that it was pretty decent. So for the most part, I felt like it was pretty decent in terms of the multiplayer game. Now you guys may saw me in 8th place, but that's because I kind of joined in pretty late. And another thing is, I was trying to set up my recording setup, so I died like a bunch of times in the beginning, which you guys didn't see, but that's the reason. But if you saw the gameplay, the little I played for 4 minutes, I was pretty much owning. If I would have started playing normal from the beginning, I probably would have won this match. But overall, the performance was pretty decent, I would say, for this controller. Alright guys, I'm going to give you my final conclusion and thoughts of what I think about the controller and should you buy one. This is the Asura Pro 2 Plus. So overall, while I was playing Halo Infinite, I thought it felt really good in the hands. Honestly, it had really good performance on Halo Infinite. Now, I didn't play like 120 games or a bunch of games, but I did play a few. Even off camera, I just have to say I felt like the gameplay was really good with this controller. I didn't really struggle against my enemies. Now you always have to be a decent player for each game, but honestly the controller delivered in terms of performance. I didn't really feel any type of lag which is a lot of controllers. If you know that if they're bad, they're gonna have a lag. This one didn't. I think they do recommend that you can use it with Bluetooth, but honestly, I would just use the wireless receiver on PC or whatever device you have, even your Nintendo Switch. The wireless receivers are always going to be better on controllers. That is one of my pros, because if you connect the wireless receiver, you're going to get a better overall connection for with the controller, and the performance would be better. And you can also use USB connection as well, which will give you the maximum performance. But overall, with the wireless receiver, I did like that. So that's one of the pros that I did like about it. Another thing that I liked about the controller, that it has the software on PC, so you can basically just edit every type of key that it has. If you want to switch the keys to different buttons or so, you can do it on the software as well. So you can map. It has a good flexibility. I think all the modern controllers should actually have an application on the computer, on the PC, or on your phone, iPhone and Android. I didn't test out the iPhone or Android one, but it does have that as well. But I think you should definitely always do it on PC as well, to see what kind of way you want to customize your controller. It's a better way, because honestly, it can be kind of confusing for people when it just have to use the manual to map everything. But overall, this is not an issue with this controller. The joysticks felt really good. They definitely are precision and no drift as well. Um, Everything seems pretty solid on the controller. I liked it. It's really solid. The only complaint I will have on this controller is kind of like these buttons. I didn't really like the feel of these buttons. In the future, if they do update the buttons a little bit, I would recommend, you know, just switch these buttons out. They felt a little bit weird. But they're really good. It's not that they're bad. It's just not my personal preference. I prefer kind of like a little bit more lightweight or matte finish. These are kind of glossy. I never really like glossy. I don't know how to explain it, but that's the only thing I had to complain about that. Other than that, everything else felt good. Even the joysticks felt good. The weight of the controller is really good too. I definitely like the texture feel. It doesn't feel too bad as well. I don't really like the glossy texture feel on other controllers. This one doesn't have that. This is like a matte finish, which is better because it's just better. It feels better on the hands. It also has like rubberized a little bit grips here. You can feel them. You probably won't see them in the camera, but yeah. And it has the compartment where you can put your USB-C receiver, which is pretty cool as well. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. So you have your standards. For the price, I would say it's fair. $50, I believe it is on Amazon. I'm not sure how much is on their website. They probably have sales as well. But overall, the price is fair. And out of my rating scale, if you're looking for a decent budget controller for competitive gaming, it's probably at the 7.5 out of 10. That is not bad. That is great. That is really good for this controller. It's really good. I really like the joysticks, and I have to tell you that the buttons on the back, the triggers and everything, they do feel well. I mean, they feel like almost like the professional controllers. They feel decent. I definitely recommend it. But overall, it's really good. I also did like the fact that the turbo was easily enabled from the front. As you guys may know, some controllers you had to press buttons in the back to enable turbo or stuff like that. Not this one. This one has it right in the front. And I didn't mention the D-pad. The D-pad was good. So overall, I think I like almost everything about the controller. Probably just these buttons I didn't like too much. They don't. It's not a big deal. It's just a personal preference. Some people have different preferences. But overall, the controller is decent. I do recommend it if you are in the market to buy this controller. I will leave the link in the description. And this controller was provided by Beitong. I will leave their website as well as their Amazon link as well if you're interested in buying this controller in the future. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching and peace out.